Idaho Design Build is an opportunity for students to gain confidence. I think more than experience, it's about gaining some confidence that you can work with a client and bring a project to fruition. The Moscow Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Center is not just a nonprofit that helps businesses. They are a direct and important part of what makes Moscow special. Working with them was an opportunity not just to help the Chamber of Commerce, but to help Moscow. The compressed earth block walls are a good example of how research works in the Idaho Design Build, but we believe that research naturally grows out of the design process. The blocks are smaller, they're registration keyed, and they have a custom mix that was based on testing that we did of the local soil. We designed our own manual press and then built it for the project and then began testing blocks.
But the idea is like 10 years down the road or potentially sooner, and they decide that they want that space to be, say, one office or just one larger room, they're able to unstack the blocks and reconfigure the space. So it just allows for a lot more sustainable reconfiguration and adaptability of this design.
Idaho Design Build looks at salvaged material, repurposed material as primary source material. We wanted to make sure that we were using materials that had a history that was tied to this place. We are also using the tongue and groove siding that went on the new arena. We gathered it up, cataloged it, and then began to look at new uses for it. As we took the tongue and groove cedar siding, we milled it in half and then sanded the charcoal finish that had been applied off of it, and then reconfigured it into modular panels that could be used as a screen wall that provided a good backdrop for people as they ventured off of Main Street into the building, as well as privacy for the offices that were just behind the reception desk.
The reusing and repurposing of material was pretty prominent throughout the project. For the sink especially, it was kind of an idea of, well, we have all these other materials. We have a lot of plywood and we had a lot of angle from the outside, and there was a lot of sort of materials that we're using throughout the project. So I think for the sink it was kind of just like, how can we pull together all these pieces into something that looks more unique and creates a very unique experience.
The Chamber of Commerce is a really important space for the introduction to Moscow. It's where people come for more information about the city, and they host a lot of events for the community, so it's a very active part of Moscow's community. Integrating things that were really important to Moscow, so bringing out its history in the use of the compressed earth blocks, and then trying to capture the changing beauty of Moscow's seasons. It was really fun to put the photo wall together and look at all the pictures that people had sent in that they thought really documented Moscow, and I think it really reads.
One of the wishes from the client was that that back entry was more of an actual entry. Previously it was just a single light and a pretty exposed staircase. So we went through our design process and came up with a more called out covered entry. We had to have the whole structure supported by just the existing stairs. We couldn't actually anchor it to the ground there.
The facade sits on a primary alleyway that's used by a lot of people to move through downtown. And a lot of the buildings around it are starting to have murals go up. We didn't want to do another mural. We wanted something that would be a little more alive on a day-to-day basis. So we started thinking about how the west facade could reflect Moscow without making some sort of direct representation of Moscow.
With the limited resources, the limited experience that we had, we were able to create a space that really helped the people to feel like they had a home that they were proud to show to others.